Howdy. And we are live on the United Public Radio Network, UPRN 107.7 FM New Orleans and 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast. How cool is that? And we are also being live streamed wherever podcasts live. So we're not hard to find, including my YouTube channel. So go there and subscribe. It's free. This podcast, our guarantee, is that you will never look at the paranormal the same again. To all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps, fellow experiencers and brothers and sisters in Christ, welcome. This is Father Shawn's Paranormal Ministry. I'm your host, Father Shawn Whittington. I'm an ordained Catholic priest with the United States Old Catholic Church. I'm a fully professed brother and abbot for the Old Catholic Benedictines of Immaculate Mary, co-founder of GhostBegone.biz, and yeah, I'm that guy on Eli Roth Presents the Legion of Exorcists. Currently streaming everywhere, HBO Max, Travel on Demand, you name it. And it's on a bit of a world tour right now and doing quite well, I'm happy to announce. And thank you to everybody who's reached out to me that has seen the show with all of your support and kind words. I appreciate that. If there's anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. If you go there to visit, there's a lot of cool things to see. My books are there. Buy a book. Nobody reads anymore. Buy a book. If you get it off the website, I autograph it, and it arrives to you in a beautiful house blessing kit. And you never know when one of those is going to come in handy. And part of the proceeds of every sale of every copy of my books off the website goes to support St. Jude and the ASPCA. How cool is that? Get to help some of the neediest children on the planet and the animals too. There's a place on the website where you can make an appointment to speak with me about your spiritual issues, and my online course is there. You can enroll in my course right there. It's a 12-week online college level course, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare, taught by yours truly. And there's no other course like it out there. And if you're a true warrior for Christ and you want to learn how to draw your line in the sand, circle the wagons, make a stand, put up a good fight, perhaps the fight of your life against, God forbid, if true evil ever comes calling, that's the course for you. And you can enroll in it right there at the website. Got God? Well, if you want to join a church that accepts everybody, and I mean that, accepts everybody, regardless of denomination, take a look at the United States Old Catholic Church. And if you already have a good relationship with God, but you want or perhaps feel a calling to have an even closer relationship with Him, look at the Old Catholic Benedictines of Immaculate Mary. Reach out to their abbot. That would be me. And we can talk about this calling of yours. Perhaps the Benedictines are in your future. All righty, on with the show. Today is what we call First Fridays with Father Shawn and Annette. The guest of the show is each and every one of you that has access to the chat room. We are taking questions, live questions from the live chat room the whole show. I might pull some questions from the mailbag, might do a prayer a little bit later from the prayer urn. No topic is off the table, and anything goes today. And we might even get a surprise guest. You never know. I put that out there in the airwaves that anybody that would like to pop in and be a surprise guest, you're more than welcome. Okay, guys. Without further ado, let me bring on my paranormal partner in crime. I love her and respect her. I've known her forever. She's a lifelong paranormal experiencer in her own right. She is the owner of Stellium Books. She's my publisher. Please give a big, warm Paranormal Ministry family welcome to Annette Munich.
Hello.
What are you doing?
Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be here, and thank you for the lovely introduction.
You're welcome. It's heartfelt. I had somebody reach out to me the other day and said, I was a guest on many, many years ago. Annette had a show called Paranormal Python. I didn't even know that.
Yes.
And she said, I was a guest on that show. I'm glad to see she's still out and about and doing her thing and seems to be doing well. Tell her I said hi. And of course, I didn't write the name down, so I can't tell you hi.
Nice.
I'll go back and look at my notes and find out who that was and send the
Sweet.
message.
Nice. I did that for 4 years.
So how are you today? You look very pretty today. How's the
Thanks.
weather in Oklahoma treating you?
Windy, and we've got storms coming in, like so windy. It's kind of crazy. It's scary. And maybe we'll have like really bad storms and hail and tornadoes. And that's supposed to start around 5 o'clock, right around the time we're done
Uh
with the
oh.
show. But I've been busy. I got new books. It's very exciting. The Cure by James Baxter. That's a medical thriller that came out 2 weeks ago. Um, Protocol Earth. And that is a very cool book about AI. Fiction, but very plausible. I think that people would really enjoy that. Um, Today, it's releasing right now, uploading on Amazon, Mr. Hyde, a Gothic novella. And that is a Penny Dreadful story. We're bringing back the old horror stories
Cool.
with the new twists. They're going to be a whole lot of fun. That is like a nice little weekend read. It's $2.99 on Kindle because it's short. $5.99 paperback. Really, really good, interesting. And next week I have a children's book coming out, a bunny rabbit story before Easter. And then we have
Oh yeah.
Carol's book, and we're going to have him on again soon, I'm sure, to tell everybody all about it. But a beautiful cover, beautifully written, and he's got a couple other things up his sleeve. So I've actually been busy. So the thing that you said earlier about nobody reads anymore is hopefully going to be false. I like to think, of course, I'm a book girl. I
Yeah.
like to think people are, okay, I'm a Renaissance girl. Everybody will start reading, writing, artistic, creative things. Get off the screen a little bit. That's what's good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
We'll say hi to Heidi, hi to Michelle, hi to Carol, hi to my friend Berta who is here. Berta, love you.
oh no.
What's
Somebody's
going on?
ring somebody's ringing the studio door. Hold on, let me reach over there and take a peek and see who it is.
Is it DoorDash? Oh, it's
Oh, it is
Susan.
DoorDash. It's Susan Ahern DoorDasher.
Susan.
Ding dong DoorDash. That's who it is.
I didn't know you were a DoorDasher.
Ta-da. Oh, I'm a lot of things you don't know about.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. I bet. Well, welcome. You're our surprise guest today.
Surprise!
Well, I'll let
Surprise.
everybody know right now if somebody is desperately in need of a quickie little reading because they have a problem, then you can go ahead and ask Susan a question. But she's our surprise guest today, so we weren't planning that. You know what's interesting? There's so many things that have already been mentioned in this since the show started. That's interesting. First of all, Annette brings up Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is one of my favorite horror movies, and I just recently saw like a old black and white one with like the original one with I believe Robert Taylor,
Oh, wow.
and then one that was done many many years after that, but still black and white and old with Spencer Tracy. That was a
Oh,
great
wow.
version
That
of
was
it.
a good
And
one.
then I saw one I never seen this one before. I didn't know Jack Palance played that role once in a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde movie. I thought that was
Who's
and
he?
all
I
of
don't know
Disney
who that is.
Jack
I know.
Palance.
What?
I don't know what movie you might have seen him in. He played Curly. Do
He's
you
more
remember?
like from the 50s and 60s.
Okay.
But even at an older, well, I don't know. Remember Batman with Michael Keaton?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was the head gangster in the beginning of the movie that Jack Nicholson
Mm.
ended up killing. That older man. That's Jack Palance. He was also in
The
so
name is
many
familiar. I just can't
movies.
place his face. I'll Google it.
Well, he was very good in that version of it. So that's
Mhm.
funny she brings that up, and I love those stories. But there was also a series that I loved that was only on for like 3 seasons, and I think it was HBO, called Penny Dreadful. And I
I
don't know if
love
you.
that. I was watching it. Look, we have been talking about this, and I said a lot of the people that I know absolutely love the old horror, and Penny Dreadful was a great series. I loved that. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
really enjoyed that. And then got the idea to revive some of these old stories. The cover is so sweet, so beautiful. Yeah, I get, all excited about covers and how we're presenting the inside of the book. I'm like that. But I mean, a lot of people really enjoy those old horror. We did that when we were kids.
I loved it.
Every Friday night, we were watching these, like you were
Yeah.
saying, Jekyll and Hyde and stuff even older than that. Wolfman, Frankenstein, uh, vampires, all of it.
Yeah. I was watching the older version of the Addams Family. And I just kind of had a memory. I was chuckling to myself. My poor mother, once again, my poor mother. I I told her I wanted to live in the Addams Family house because I loved that house. And I'm like, can we move there? Can we get a house like that with a crazy fence? And I had it already back then. I think I was already hooked.
Well, I'm so happy that you're here today, Susan. Hopefully, like I've got a windstorm here too, Annette. We've been under a high wind warning all week. So if you lose me, you guys
Yeah.
just carry on. But what I wanted to say was I'm happy Susan popped in here, and this is another thing that's kind of weird here. It's how the cosmos just works sometimes. I took several questions out of the mailbag, and this hardly ever happens. Two or three questions were about the same topic. Two or three other questions were about another same topic. So I just wrote both those topics down and figured we could banter them about. But it's interesting that you're here, Susan, because one of the topics was near death experiences. And I
Interesting.
can't tell you how many people have reached out to me um, that have asked about you. They've heard me over and over again mention that you're a many times over near death experience or survivor or death survivor. So what better opportunity but you to go ahead and tell your story? And if anybody wants to comment or jump in or tell their story in chat, they can. But there are people out there that would like to hear about your near death experiences.
Yeah, no, that's I we never get to talk about it because we get
No, we don't.
readings and we get rolling. But yeah, we'll totally open that up. I don't mind if the cards are hot and ready to go. So if anybody does want that, that's fine. We're just gonna do it like Fun Friday and anything goes. I think that's great. Yeah.
So why are you still here? I mean,
That
I
is
know
a
what the stories
really
you're
good
about to
question.
tell, and I still wonder why
Woo,
are you here? Well,
right?
I know why, because you're a beautiful person and you help so many people, and it is what it is.
Yeah, that's
Um,
not why. Yeah,
but
no.
start with the first one and just work your way up.
Oh, we
At last
always get
count,
stuck at the. I'm sorry. Go
you
ahead.
always argue with me and say it's been like
Hmm.
five, maybe 4 or 5, and I always
Right.
kid you and tell you it's been like 7. But I'll go ahead and let you tell your story, and then people can keep their own count.
All right. So I have 5, not including, which I think you include the getting struck by lightning, which would make it 7. But I didn't really die during that. I just got fried. And you
That
have to laugh
explains a
because it
lot.
is.
Only
That
Because
on this show
it's
could you say something like that and everybody laughs. I
that
didn't die
that
during that. I just got fried. Ha ha
I
ha
just
ha
that
got
ha.
that
fried.
Okay.
explains a lot.
It does. That smell.
Well, that's twice. Not how many people go through life and don't get struck by lightning.
Yeah.
And you've been struck twice, and I'll let you tell that
Right.
story. But
Okay.
you've also had you never include the time a roof in a building collapsed on you.
Well, that's
Um,
number 5. I did. I just added that. Oh,
okay.
yay. Carl is here. Now it's a party. All right. When you were 6. Yeah. Wow. That was roughly around my first time too, Carl. That's when I was 8, roughly. But I always start with that. I feel like I don't get to the other ones. So
That's fine.
I'm going to start with the most. You want to go there? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Start at the beginning. So six. No, that was Carl. Carl was 6. 8 years old, and they used to call me Small Fry. It was a neighborhood, bunch of boys, and there was a few girls, but they always wanted to play Barbies, and I was a rough and tumble, and so we would play outside, and all the kids would gather in the yard, and off across the field, over a fence and across the field and up a hill was train tracks, and the train would come by at about 3 o'clock every day, and it would honk its horn, and the kids would stop, and we'd all run to see who could catch the train, which is the stupidest game ever. And my mother must have freaked out. I would have freaked out because you don't catch the train. Like, what happens if you do catch the train? You're going to be dead. So, like, that is not a good game. But, and no one did. No one ever caught the train. Whoever got to the top closest, I only got there one day, and I thought, this is really scary. Like, we're like feet away from the train on a hill, and we could have gotten sucked through, gone by. Nope, that's not how I died. Didn't make it to the hill. So I would climb up, and then the bigger kids would push me down, and I'd climb up, and another little boy would come and push me down, and it was a race to the top, and everyone was very serious about it. And I was the last one, and my little kids, because I think they were my sisters before, because they were really used. You know, you just pass shoes down. People don't do that anymore for the most part. By the time the kids got to my little feet, I don't think they had any treads, and I slipped on the stockade fence that I was climbing over, and my little hoodie got caught on the picket fence, and it cinched up to my neck, and my little legs were wiggling, and my slippery kids couldn't get me any traction, and I couldn't undo my hood, and it was a nightmare. And I just hung there, and I ended up basically hanging myself. But it was the process before death that is so important, and I think that a lot of people miss, is that there is a process pre-death that is also included into the whole death process. So death doesn't start at that 8 or 10 minutes post oxygen, like it starts right away. And I've had that happen more than once in my death experiences. So it's happening. Like, I knew I'm hanging and dangling there, and I knew this wasn't good. At 8 years old, I knew this was not good. And then your brain goes into this automatic thing. It just happens. And so I thought that maybe if I could send a message, telepathy, I don't know where I learned that one, like, I'm going to send telepathy to my mom, who is in the house doing the dishes, for her to come out and get me, because that was I couldn't yell. Your windpipe is cut off. You can't make any noise. And where I was happened to be behind the garage. She couldn't see me, because people like, oh, she just saw you. No, she couldn't see me. So, I was sending Mom, come behind the garage, come out behind the garage. And she did. But by that time, I realized in this death process that death was coming. Like, it was happening. There was a beautiful, warm, calm wave that came over me. I stopped kicking and trying to struggle. I surrendered peacefully. Even talking about this, it wasn't traumatic. You would think, oh my gosh, this is horrible for a child or anyone. It wasn't. It was a very peaceful coming home type feeling. And so then you just get to a point where you can hold on. Holding on was an option, but surrender was also an option. And you just kind of surrender into this warm peacefulness. It was like being held by a mother, or by someone that was very warm and caring and not necessarily a mother, but just very warm. It was just being held. And then I just let go. And then I woke up and I was on the grass and my mother was shaking me, and I came back into my body. And she said I was the worst color purple ever, and she was so pissed at me. Oh my God, because she was scared. And she kept saying, I don't know why I came back here. I don't know why. Something told me to come back here. So she did receive the message, and I thought, oh, that is so cool. It was like kind of like the first thing I thought, instead of, oh, I just died. And like it was like, oh, I can do ESP. I got to tell the kids. Like my brain, little kid brain was like, that was awesome. Like, and then on you go, and you don't, you didn't go to the doctor because someone said, well, did you go to the doctors? No, I didn't. I got oxygen back. I turned a better color. I was probably a little more stupid than I was before, but chasing after trains, I thought that was pretty dumb. So, we just didn't go to the doctor. We just never did. It wasn't a thing. Unless you were dead, you didn't go. So,
and you were too young to even really know that you were psychically gifted, really.
No,
even
I
at that
didn't
point
know.
to telepathically be calling out to your mother for help and her to
Right,
hear you. But that's
right.
obviously passed down through her to you. So she
Not
obviously
in
was
my
gifted
family.
too.
Like no one talked about it. If they did, it wasn't happening.
Wow.
And it was something that was a very familiar. It was like a natural. It was a sixth sense. It was a natural. Oh, I'll just tell her I'm here and she'll come get me. And that's always kind of been, I think, natural. And I think we all have it. It just depends on when it was shut down in our evolution of, being human, that was, you can't do that, that
Yeah.
you're like, oh, maybe I can't. And once that seed of doubt is planted, but having that experience, I was like, oh, I can do that. I know I can do that. So it didn't matter what anybody said to me. I was already solidified. Like it was there. And then I tried, like, then I'm like, oh, I can move things with my nose. Because then the Bewitched was really big. So,
Yeah.
so then I went around trying to wiggle my nose, and I couldn't do it, but I wanted to so bad. I would stare at the light switch all day, seeing to make it move. I was not right.
Another great show from back in
Another
the
great
day.
show, right?
Wow. We grew up, our generation.
Yep.
I'm older than you two, but we're close enough to know
No,
that we had some great shows growing up.
we did.
Oh
We
yeah,
did.
we really, really did.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
What was your next time?
Next time. Oh, childbirth.
Ooh. You
Delivering
mean
my,
you went all the way from
well,
that time when you were 6 to the childbirth situation? I thought you had uh
no, there was nothing else in between. I
okay.
was a hot mess. I mean, I was always breaking something, cutting something, stabbing myself, yeah, bits and pieces everywhere, but nothing near death that I can remember. So the next one was childbirth. This is my favorite one. This is very beautiful. There was a lot to this. Um, how old was I? So I was 24 years old. And this was my third baby, my last baby. And the whole time I was pregnant, I knew something was going to happen, but I didn't know what. I always thought it was going to be with the pregnancy. I was going to have trouble with the pregnancy because both of the other babies were really big, like 11 and almost a 10-pound baby. So they were big. And I thought, oh, if something happens, and I'm at the hospital, nothing happens, and I'm like, good, haha, I was wrong. I love that. That's great. There's nothing happening. The birth is fine. The baby was fine. I needed a C-section, and but the surgery went fine, it was post-surgery, and the doctor then had another C-section right after mine, so he was occupied, and I was being tended by nurses. And I said to my husband at the time, I said, something's not right with this one. This is my third C-section. Something's not right. It's different. And he said, oh, you look fine. The number's good, And I said, get the nurse and tell her there's something wrong. And they couldn't see anything. They couldn't tell that anything was wrong. They're like, nope, you're fine. You're fine. I said, okay. And I waited and I waited. 2 hours go by, and I said, something is really wrong. You have to listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. Well, your doctor's in surgery right now. We can't bother him. And I said, okay, well, there it goes. I kind of was like I had to surrender to something. I'm like, okay, this is not working. And so then he did come and he said, well, let me look. I think you're fine, but blah, blah, blah. What ended up was happening was there was a huge blood clot, like the size of a football. And I was bleeding internally the whole time. And I was just pooling and pooling and pooling. And the clot broke the doorway couldn't, it couldn't open. So they were like, no, look under there. You look fine. And so the minute he moved the football sized clot out of it, I dumped. My blood pressure just tanked. And now they're listening to me. Now they're all running around like crazy. So,
you will not believe this, but the same thing happened to me.
I almost died
with my daughter Brianna. I had a great big blood clot, and it burst right here on my side. I felt something pop. I kept saying something's wrong, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And they couldn't find anything wrong. And then my blood pressure just tanked. I lost consciousness and everything. And they took the baby by C-section. It's just very strange because I'm hearing this story and I'm like, same.
Wow.
Same. Yeah.
And
so if someone tells you that something's wrong and they feel like they're dying, you really need to listen to them because it's really clear.
Maybe they get a lot, from mothers
and they
that
could
are
get a lot.
But it wasn't my first baby. Anyway, I don't want to, turning it into about me, but
no,
they said that they put out, an emergency thing for a doctor. The doctor was reaching for the door to leave the hospital, turned around, came back in, and they found where it was right away. Or else I wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
They told my husband, they said the baby's okay, but we don't know if we can save her.
Wow.
The doctor's trying to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
And then I had to get like 3 pints of blood.
Yeah, I did too. Up 4. So as they're trying to now my blood pressure is 60/40 and they can't bring me into surgery. So if they caught it when they could have caught it, I would have been fine. They could have fixed the bleed. Usually the uterus will contract. It's supposed to contract. And that will like shut down all the vessels, and mine didn't. Mine just gave out, and so I was just constantly pooling. So they were going to have to go in there and do something in emergency type, but they couldn't. At this point, they would have totally lost me. So they were trying to come up with different ways to, like different clotting agents and things like that. So as that's happening, I'm going through that process. That death process is now happening. And I'm saying, can I just see my baby? I want to see my baby. No, you can't have your baby. Can I see my baby one last time? I would like to see. You're not going anywhere. You're not dying. But I am. And it was very clear, very calm. And the whole time I'm going through this process, I'm like, oh my gosh, you cannot take me away from 3 children. So I had what was that? So it was that newborn, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. And my husband at the time, he'd never even changed a diaper. He used to throw up. He'd be like, when he would change a diaper. So I'm like, oh my God, they're going to run around shitty. So I had at one point 2 in diapers. And I'm like, he can't even do 1 in diapers, let alone 2 in diapers. So, yeah, it was, I'm like, you can't do this to the children. I don't care about him, but you can't do this to the kids. What is going to happen to them? Like, my whole goal was, if you take me out, you better have somebody in place that's going to fix this, because this is a whole different scenario I wasn't ready to let go of. So I was fighting. I was fighting to hold on as hard as I could. And then, and I kept saying, am I breathing still? Because the process was happening. And they're like, you're breathing. And I'm like, well, I don't feel like I'm breathing. So I was making the transition. And they're like, no, you're still breathing. And I said, well, can I have some oxygen? No, you don't need that. Oh my God. It was such a nightmare. Oh, I needed oxygen, but whatever. So you're, and the whole time I'm still bleeding, and they couldn't clot it, and it is what it was. And then I just realized she wasn't going to let me see my baby. I couldn't hold on any longer, and I just had to trust God. I just had to trust. That was all I could do. And I went, okay, this is what it is, and this is what it is. And then I saw the white light, the tunnel, the going. It was very quick. There was no like hanging out in a tunnel or anything, like it was just white light, shoop, gone. And I was so excited. I get to the other side. The whole process about changing your age, I don't understand that. That whole, is it a choice? Can you stay the age you are? Each time I was able to come back at a different age, which was very interesting. This time I was like 12, still innocent, but curious and intelligent to some extent, so I was in a white gown and like white pajamas, and I was barefoot. And I'm like, I'm here, everybody. And it was, so after you go through the white light, I end up in like this room. It'd be like a hall, but there's no dimension. There's no walls, there's no ceiling, no floor. And it was cloudy, like foggy, but you could see silhouettes through the fog. So the room was full of people. I couldn't see anybody. And I thought that's weird. How come I can't see? If these are my people and they showed up to my party, now why I thought I was having a party, I'm not sure. Like, woohoo. And then I got kind of sad because I'm like, well, this is a shitty party. Like,
Yeah.
like, like I was like, this kind of stinks. So then I look over and the Blessed Mother calls me over, and I go over, and she like tells me that there's been a mistake. And I said, well, I don't understand. And I kept going off about how my party was dumb and no one's happy to see me. And I'm like whining to the Blessed Mother. And so she picks me up and she puts me on her lap and she wraps her arms around me, which was that same original feeling when after my hanging incident. It was that arms are wrapping around you, kind of, come here, I have you. And she let me just ramble. She just listened and looked so kind and compassionately. And then when I was done, she just kind of explained that there's been a mistake. You're not supposed to be here, but you've made it. So you get to stay if you so choose. And everybody here at your party can't come out yet because you have to make a decision. And so that was why they weren't coming forward. If I said, no, I'm here for the party, then the party would do, I would stay, and fate would then have to get rewritten because it was not planned. So I understood the severity of the situation. So she said, you're going to go with these two angels, and they're going to show you what you need to help you make your decision. And so with that, we left that dimension into another dimension. You just kind of zoop around, you're not like, zoop, here we are, and he'll be here, zoop, here, over there. And so we were going kind of down like this hallway or a corridor, and I passed a doorway that represented or had the energy of hell, what I would assume would be hell.
Yeah.
And we only kind of, we were zipping right along, and then we kind of slowed down enough to look in to see what was going on. And I was like, oh, hell no. Like that was like, nope,
Yeah.
keep going, not the right room. But they wanted me to
I'll
understand.
take the shitty party over that.
Right. Exactly, the one with no balloons. That's fine. I won't complain ever again. They wanted me to see it. Wasn't supposed to. I didn't have to experience it. I just had to get the gist that was. I understood, and then we continued on. We took off again, and then we went into like a theater, like an amphitheater type of thing, and I was kind of after they put me there. They kind of stepped back, vanished backwards, and I was just watching past, present, and future all happening at the same time in this amazing screen. And it was just kind of all happening quickly within, seconds. And at that point, I realized I have to get back. There was like, I just was like, oh my gosh, I have to get back. And within that, back to my body. There was no goodbyes. There was no see you later party. There was no more parties. Back. So I think that's why I'm still here, is because they're like, oh, she's gonna want to party when she gets here. Forget about it. So back into my body. It felt like falling from like the Empire State Building onto shards of glass and nails, and it was just the most painful feeling I've never experienced except for in that moment. And I think it was when all of the cells turned on again, like everything in your body. I wonder if that's what it's like to be born. Like the light was bright and everything was just so extreme, and it was just so painful. And I opened my eyes, I gasped for air, and then I said, I said the F word, I chose this. And I realized that, oh my gosh, this is the most painful thing I have ever experienced. But I knew that I did choose it. I chose to be here. So I'm going to make the best of this. And there's a reason for it. And not that I don't remember the reason. I just know that if it happened again, I know I chose the same thing. That my being here on this planet is important for whatever that is.
Yeah.
So, and that was that one.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then, so I know what you're thinking about is when I got hit by the car. That's the next one. That's number 3.
Talk about that one, but wasn't there also a car accident one, and then another one where you were hit by a car? Wasn't there
I
two
got hit
different
by the
car
car
ones?
first. I got hit by the car first.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's when I was working as a police officer, directing traffic. And a car wasn't paying attention and hit me. And then I had surgery, knee surgery, and I wasn't feeling well once again, but the doctors that called the office, well, the doctor's gone for the day, but if you really think that this is a problem, I said, well, I've never had one. So like, is this normal? And so I was having nausea and dizziness, but if there wasn't a fever, then I was fine, and I didn't have a fever. So I guess it was fine. I went to bed. I woke up in the morning, and my leg was, from my toe to my knee, was black. So I had a blood clot, and stupid me, the first thing I did was get up and walk around.
Ugh.
Oh my God, my knee's black. So like, I'm thinking it's like your foot's gone to sleep. Yeah, no, don't do that. I don't recommend moving a blood clot unless you're not even, even in the hospital, it's dangerous. So I'm dislodged the blood clot. I'm like, oh, good, my foot looks better. So it was over the weekend, and I was like, well, don't worry about it. But it took a little while. It took 2 days to get to um, my. It hit my brain. I was having difficulty breathing, so I guess it went around a few times. Then it got into my brain, and I was at the grocery store. So by this time, it's like a week later. It's been floating around, and but I was young, so I was in my 30s. But that doesn't matter. Like, you can still have a stroke. Um, so I realized I can't say anything. I'm at the grocery store, and all of a sudden, like, I can't speak. And so I I got into the car and drove across the street to the fire department, and by that time it had moved again. So he's like, well, are you sure you couldn't speak? And I'm like, yes, I know I could not speak. There was something going on, because I was trying to make noise and talk loud, like pretend like I was humming or singing, and nothing was happening. And they're like, well, we don't think that that's happened, but we'll see. And I explained the whole Blackfoot thing and the whole thing. And because I was young enough, that wasn't a problem. So they didn't find anything. And I was like, okay, well, I guess maybe it took care of itself. Until the next day, like 24 hours, I'm nauseous and I don't feel good. And now I'm dizzy. And I'm like, I know this feeling. This is that damn clot. So I ran to the bathroom because I didn't know if I was going to throw up or whatever. And that's when my heart stopped. Finally, it was like, this damn clot's going to get me one time or another.
Yeah.
And so, so I'm on the toilet and I'm going, oh, I don't want to die like this. Because I knew everybody on the fire department. And I didn't want anybody finding me with my pants down around my ankles. So this was totally, vanity and ego that kept me alive this time. And I was passed out, but I had just enough to go, okay, please don't let me. I was like holding on. And I'm like, I'm not dying. I'm not dying on the toilet. You can take me tomorrow with my pants up. Give me 10 minutes to put my pants on. I'm not dying on the toilet. And then I came to and I was back again, but it was that whole feeling of, it's coming. There's that sensation. It's a very telling sensation of we're going to call it pre-birth, because death just sounds so final, that I was transitioning from here to someplace else. And that was that process. So, there's that one.
I hate to jump in.
Yes.
I love you guys to death. I know it looks sunny behind me. It's horrible out there.
Really?
We got a tornado watch. I got to go get the dogs in.
Oh, shit. Go to the bathroom. Sure. Go to the basement.
Oh.
Love you guys.
All righty.
Sorry.
Be safe.
No, it's okay. That's okay. Be safe. Wow, that is scary.
I said the word.
It was so dark. Too late.
Is it tornadoes okay? Is that okay? It was a tornado.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I hope she's
poor Annette.
We'll say a prayer for her. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that was number 3. What's your next one?
Number 4 is a car accident. It was when I was a passenger, and Christmas Eve, and we're racing around trying to get presents and stuff like that. And we were in a car. I was a passenger, and we pulled out, and another truck came by and schmucked us, sent us spinning. And when it did, the driver of the vehicle that I was in, his head hit the steering wheel, and then it came up and it hit my heart. So I got a cardiac thump, and that stopped my heart from beating. And sometimes you'll hear baseball players and things like that have that done. Yeah. And that's what happened. And
recently happened to a football player. Remember, he went to go make a tackle, and the guy he was tackling lowered his head, and the helmet, top of the helmet
Oh,
hit the tackler right in the chest. And this was like on Monday Night Football or something. And
wow.
the guy actually dropped dead
Yeah.
right there on the field, but they were
Boom.
able to revive him.
Yeah. It's an instantaneous thing. The heart just goes boop, done.
Yep.
And
You
I
know,
remember,
the heroes there were the paramedics that they always have on duty at football
yeah.
games. They actually revived him right there on the field. If they hadn't have been there, or if they hadn't have been
Mm-hmm.
experienced in that, he would
Yeah.
have died.
Because you can shock it right back, which is good. That is, unless you damage the innards, you know, the gizzards, as my grandmother would call them. Unless you damage the gizzards, it's a no-go. But you can shock it back. Um, but that wasn't happening that time. And so I was sitting there, and everything is just kind of very surreal. Like you're just looking around, and it just is, everything is moving in slow motion. It's really interesting. And then I didn't figure out right away that I was dead because I was watching him, and I'm sure it, you know, your body has a few minutes that you can still function with the oxygen that you have. So that's probably what I was going through. I was aware of what was happening. And then um, this was kind of cool. A past life came up.
Huh.
They showed me a past life that I had with the person that was driving. And this wasn't the first time that this person had killed me. They killed me in another lifetime.
Oh wow.
Very trippy, very trippy. And I'm like, I can't deal with that just yet. I'm like, that's too much for today, but I'll revisit that one.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So
That's crazy.
it was crazy. So there was some karma that needed to be cleaned up there. But so, and then I felt like, then all of a sudden I was like up. I don't remember shifting up, but now I'm outside the cab of the truck, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, and I could look down and see me, and then I could look around and see what was happening. Nothing was really happening. And I looked at the other truck, and that guy was out of the truck. And then I was like, oh no, I'm dead again. It just finally dawned on me, like, because it was so quiet. You couldn't.
That's the title of your book when you finally get around to writing it. Oh no, I'm dead again.
All right,
That's the
write that
title
down.
right there.
That's the title. All right, we're doing it.
Don't forget.
I'm
That's
gonna.
the
I'm gonna write it down.
title. That's the title
Okay.
right there.
Oh no, I'm dead again. That's perfect. So, so then I got mad. My Irish got it all up in a lather because it's Christmas Eve. I have 3 children. Once again, and my children are my number one, right? I cannot die today. I have a dirty laundry pile. I did not cook dinner yet. I have 3 kids at home. You cannot take me. Oh, I went off. I really went off on
The
God.
angels are already drawing straws up there, like who's got to go down there and deal with her again?
Right?
Um,
I dealt with her last time. I'm not doing it again. She's horrible. Yeah, I had a one-on-one with God, and I was like, no, 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 no way, no. And yeah, and I gave him 100 reasons why today is not the day that this is going to happen. And I said, take me tomorrow, take me next week. I don't care. Not today, not now. And he's like, boy, she's got a long list of places she can't die. Not on the toilet, not on the side of the road, not.
yeah.
So, anyways, so not today worked. And back I went back into my body. And once again, oh my gosh, everything hurts. Like even my eyelashes hurt. Like everything hurts. And I've been in a car accident. So yeah, I kept trying to tell them. I said, my heart stopped. You know, he hit my chest and my heart stopped. And I'm like, oh, you're fine. Each time the medical profession has let me down, like each time, which is really sad. So if you're an EMT and a paramedic out there, really listen. It's so
Yeah.
important to listen to people because they know what's going on. They know what's happened. And so yeah, so that was that one. Got rushed to the hospital, blah blah blah. And the hospital wasn't that far away, which we were lucky, because usually it's like a 30-minute ride. So this one wasn't. This was just right around the corner, and that was fine. Um, and then the ceiling hit my head. How many minutes we got? I'll make this one short.
So this would be number 5 coming up.
All
Yeah.
right, and we're at we've got like 10 minutes left, almost. All
And
right.
what we can do, you can we can discuss this one, then we can chat a little bit before I have to kick you out of here. And when you come back at the end of the month, which you'll be back the last Friday of this month, March 27th for Happy Medium Monthly, and we will pick right up where we left off because I know
Well,
there's
why
a
don't we
couple of
save the
more.
last one for that next time then, and everybody can
Yeah,
catch the show, and we'll just talk about what we have on the table already.
sure, sure.
All right.
So we will pick up where we left off, and that will be what are you about to tell us? Is it going to be
The ceiling.
the ceiling? Let me write that down.
Yeah, we'll do the ceiling and then the two lightning strikes next time.
So that would be 5. See, that's 7 right there. 2 lightning strikes in the
But those,
ceiling.
I didn't really die though. I just got fried.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. I
Okay.
mean,
All
you
right.
survived them where most people don't.
Correct.
I
Yeah.
mean, you don't when you never hear of anybody getting hit by lightning and surviving, and
I
then it
guess.
happened to you twice, and that's crazy. So, well, let's keep. What I want to say real quick to anybody that's listening, I people reach out to me all the time with severe um, survivor's remorse that have survived situations like yours where in that situation people around them or someone that was with them died.
Right.
They came back, they crossed over, were sent back, someone they were with or a group of people they were with didn't make it, and then they end up getting having severe survivor's remorse. So for anybody out there, I'm going to give you some websites that I refer to people. One is called, and if you don't have anything to write this down with, just watch the end of the show again. First website is the International Association for Near Death Studies. The next website is Near Death Experience Research Foundation. And the next one after that is Near Death Experiences and the Afterlife. All 3 of these places can help you with severe survivor's remorse. And they encourage people that go to these websites to share your story, share your near death experience story, and you can talk with other people and share stories with other people back and forth and help each other through these experiences and read other people's experiences too, so you don't feel so all alone
Right.
in that so yeah, that's very important too. I don't know if you've visited any of those websites, but they've helped a
There's a
lot of
few.
people.
Yeah, there's a few on Facebook. There's like chats. It's usually for people, but you can also join if you're not. Um, and it may help answer questions. I am working on a book right now about, questions and answers on near death experience, my experience and what I've come back with, and yeah, some just helping with the life and the death part. Death should not be. It's a beautiful sacrament. It really is a beautiful thing that we get to experience, and each and every time it really was, and not that everyone's is, but I would rather work on that now
Yeah.
while I'm alive to be able to get to that point so that you can have this a beautiful exit. You know.
Well, you know I love you and I respect you, and it's such a nice surprise that you popped in today as our surprise guest. If I don't talk to you before then, which I'm sure I will see you on Friday, March 27th, for another episode of Happy Medium Monthly, and I want you to have a wonderful remainder to your Friday and the rest of your weekend. And I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. And check on Annette in the basement, please.
I will.
All right.
I'll see you later.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Susan Ahern. All right, brothers and sisters. Um, I don't know what else to say other than thank you all for tuning in, because I don't have a show without you guys, and I mean that from the heart. Thank you to Joe Montaldo and Michelle DeRoche of United Public Radio Network for making it happen to carry my show. Much appreciated. Couldn't do all of this without you guys. And keep all the prayers coming. Right now, I'm not going to talk much about it because I won't. Uh, I just can't. Right now is a very, very scary time for my wife, and some major health things that she's going through. Very scary. So please keep the prayers coming, and God bless you all for all the prayers so far. Lots of people have reached out wanting to know how she's doing and stuff. It's scary, very scary. So please keep the prayers coming for my wife. Um, Remember, in the Catholic Church this month, it's devoted to Saint Joseph. So, other than our most highest heavenly Father, as a father figure on the other side, if you need that type of guidance and intervention and help, pray to Saint Joseph. Don't forget him. Pray to him. We're just getting started here on High Strangeness Fridays on United Public Radio Network. So, coming up next is Spirit Switchboard with Carrie Lynn Shellhorn. That's a great show, so don't miss that. And if you would like your name and your brand or anything that you are selling to be given a live shout out during the show by yours truly, reach out to me. I could use, now more than ever, trust me, I could use some sponsors for the show. And if things get really ugly and scary here with my wife's situation and I have to take leave of absence from the show, it's already set up. Annette will carry on, and all the guests will help carry the show on, and it'll go on until I'm able to return again. But thought I would just throw that out there. So if I just end up disappearing, I'm around, and I'll be back as soon as I can. But that might happen sooner than later. All right, brothers and sisters, remember, we may have done what the devil said we did, but we are not who the devil says we are. Good night, Danny. Good night, Jack. Good night, Dog. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. I love you all. God bless you all in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Peace.